not letting me record. There it is. All right, we're good. All right, so wanted to do this right now about listings. Listings are very short. Anybody that's been in the market for 5 minutes has a good understanding of that. And given the market that we're in right now, for sale by owners are very difficult. Expireds are very difficult. So I wanted to share some other ideas about finding listings and where to go to look for them. And one of the tools that we're going to dive into this morning is called Remine. And through our board, that's a tool that's available. So as soon as you log in to, let me share my screen here, excuse me. And share screen. Boot computer sound in case I have any. Okay, can't share. All right, everybody see the screen okay? Okay, so as soon as you log in, you see this screen for the MLS. We're going to look for Remine, which is right here. Go ahead, we'll open that up. You can use this. This is a great search tool, a bunch of different functions. You can search for property values. You can search for home equity, time of ownership, absentee owners, flood zone and different risks and mortgage rates or mortgage age, sell score. We've seen that in Realist. Remine also has their own. Distress sales, you know, pre-foreclosures or foreclosures, expired listings. And then, of course, you can search for, you know, by bedrooms, by bathrooms. In a typical MLS search, you can search for properties that way in here as well. So one thing I want to talk about is maybe searching for a mortgage that's less than 20 years old with an interest rate of 8% or more. You know, somebody with those that may have owned a house for close to 20 years or has an 8% or higher APR on their mortgage, they may be more likely to sell. So you come over here, you go down to search right there, and I just cleared my search. So we're going to go for ownership time, and we're looking for a max of maybe, we'll say 19 years in this case. Mortgage rate minimum of 8%. Apply. Okay, so look at all these different results with that. So let's zoom into this one. We've got 30 right in the middle of Cape Coral here. So as you search in, you can see that it expands and it shows you all the properties within that 38. So as we scroll in a little bit, scrolled in too far. Here we go. Here's one right here. We click on that one. Go back. One other thing. Mortgage age, maybe maximum of 19 years. Oh boy. Mortgage age. We'll say building type. We only want to look at single family here. I don't know why they would have a mortgage on a piece of land, but hey, I guess they were able to find a loan officer that would do it for them. Where'd it go? Southwest 28th Street. There it is right here. They pull that one up. So this is not filtering properly. I don't know what happened here. Let's try searching again. Go back to Remine. Back here. Forgive me. You open up Remine, you go to search. I'm going to go building type. We only want single. Clear all filters, start over. Building type. Single family. Fine. Mortgage rate. Minimum of 8%. Mortgage age, maximum, say 19 years. Why? Okay, you can see this one. They've got an active mortgage of almost 40 years on here. They originally took out the mortgage the end of March of 2007 with a rate of almost 9%. You see that 8.75%. So that's very high. So it could have they may want to sell. They may want to take advantage of the nearly $43,000 that they have in equity. And they may want to take advantage of the very low interest rates for mortgages right now. Maybe they want to cash out. Maybe they want to buy a new house, or they've owned this one for 19 years. Maybe the kids have grown up and moved out, and maybe it's time to downsize. Okay, so that's one probability. Let's clear our filters. Another one is absentee owners. So we can search for absentee owners here. Absentee. And then you can go absentee owner out of state. Okay. So look at all of these absentee owners and just this one little area of Cape Coral here. Then you can click on them, and then you can go farther and you can look for absentee owners, maybe from Canada. Right now, Canada doesn't think too highly of the US. The other thing is, look at exchange rates right now, not so favorable. So those things being said, you can look for opportunities for somebody that may want to sell that's an absentee owner. I would definitely be trying to contact any absentee owner from Canada right now. A lot of them have no intention of coming back to the United States, or at least not anytime soon. They may want to take advantage of the appreciation that they have in their current property and cash out on the equity that they have. So that's another thing. Next, we have two-story homes that you can search for. On average, a two-story home is a family property. So on average, the kids probably move out of the house around 20 years. So if somebody's owned a two-story home for 20 plus years, chances are they might be empty nesters now. They might want to downsize and sell their two-story home, get a property without stairs that's a little bit smaller and more manageable for the stage of life that they're now in. So let's take a look at that for a minute. Building type, we're going to go single family again. ownership time, 20 years plus. And up here, we can add floors. We're going to say a minimum of 2 floors. So right here, again, in just this same small area of Cape Coral, here's 2 more that are potential listings. Okay. So let's pull up this one here. That's this right here. So a big thing that I would use right now when I'm trying to go after these sellers is I like to use numbers. So, you know, right here it says that this person has potentially over $116,000 in estimated equity. You know, that's going to speak volumes to somebody. You know, if you tell me that if I sell my house, I could potentially walk away free and clear with over $100,000, I'm probably going to stop and listen to what you have to say. You know, that can really speak volumes. Another opportunity is pre-foreclosures. Now, currently there is a national foreclosure ban that's set in place until June 30th. There's potential that can be extended, but that has not been passed right now. So currently that expires June 30th. If that extension is not put in place, pre-foreclosures and foreclosures is a whole new world of opportunity. And we can search for those using Remine and also Realist. But we can give a whole class on that, and we'll wait until we see what happens with the government regarding that. Want to stop for just a minute here, ask if there's any questions about Remine or how to perform a search in there for potential listing or anything at all, really. Any questions up until this point? Okay.
If they want to do, like, does it give their information, would it be on too?
So the
still have to check.
The question was, is the contact information listed in Remine, and if so, is it disclosed whether or not the potential seller is on the do not call list or not? Does not appear that there's contact information in here, although it does state who owns the property. But it doesn't look like contact information or anything like that is here. So you would have to use another program to look up the contact information if you wanted to make a phone call to them. And then, of course, scrub that contact information against the DNC list. But, you know, something like this, I'm happy to work with you to build a mailer to go after these types of potential listings. And we can create some sort of mail system, if you will, to go after these as well. Next thing I wanted to go over was Cole Realty Resource. Which is a tool that's found on Desk. And you can use this for a bunch of different things. I always use this personally for circle prospecting. I'd call around a just listed or a just sold. Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I see that you live at 123 Main Street. Well, my name is Bradford. I'm a local real estate agent in town, and I'm just calling to let you know I just sold 125 Main Street. I got the seller 102% of their asking price, got the job done in just 1 day on market. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, just calling to ask if you know anybody else in the area that's looking to make a move this year that I might be able to help. And for this, you can type in an address, and then you can use the map search. Oops. You can draw a polygon on the map to pull out the data for a given geo area, if you will. Or evidently this search does it automatically. You can also use neighbor search. This one I'm more familiar with. El Prado. Scroll all the way down, and then you hit map search. Okay, so let's say you want to find all of the information for the homeowners in this area here. So I would go freeform plotting. Okay, you can draw your little polygon on the map there. And then view available prospects. Okay. So in that group of neighborhoods right there, there was 572 records that it was able to find. And then you can select all records, and then you can export as an Excel file or .csv file. If you're using a dialer, the .csv file is dialer friendly. And then these are also pre-scrubbed. You can see those on the DNC list and those that are okay to contact. Okay, so if you have maybe a buyer that is set on a certain neighborhood, but you're not able to find any inventory in that neighborhood, you can use this tool to try to find the contact information for potential sellers within that area. You can use this tool to do a call around, maybe a just listed, just sold. So that's another way to do this. The next would be to maybe go after older expired. So we use the MLS for that. You search cross property, go in here, go expired, pull up the little map tool, and let's maybe go January 2018 through March of 2020. What's that?
We're doing
Oh, no. That's interesting. Okay. Bear with me. Sorry. Realize my screen is not sharing properly. So here we go.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to go January 2018 through March of 2020. So maybe we only want to do single family in Cape Coral for that time period. And that alone gives us over 3,700 matches. Of course, yeah, I'm going after the older expireds. So 2018 through 2020. I'm going to say not residential rental. That takes out quite a few for us. Then click on the history and you can see that this one was sold just back in February of this year. But okay, so this searching for older expireds will take some time, but you know, the way I always motivated myself personally with going after expireds was I would find out what the average sales price was in my market, and then I determine what the average commission earned for that selling that property would be. And I took that figure, that dollar amount, and I printed that out on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. And I always keep a mirror behind my desk. You know, when I'm on the phone, I was always taught that to have a mirror behind your desk so that you can look at yourself, to remind yourself to smile when you're speaking to somebody, because anybody that's smiling, they say your tonality and your pitch is going to be better and you're going to be more well received by whomever is on the other line. So that being said, I always had my piece of paper with my GCI written on it, my potential GCI, and you know, at the time, I think it was $7,000 or so for the area that I was calling and the market that I was in at the time. So I would have that up there on my wall, and I'd say, you know, okay, I'm going to spend 3 hours prospecting today. Where else and what other market or what other industry can I potentially make $7,000 for 3 hours time invested? And that's personally how I was able to keep myself motivated. And that's how I was able to prospect for 3 hours every day. Because I said, there's nowhere else that I can make $7,000 in 3 hours. So let's get to it. Okay. Another area, any questions about any of that so far? Pause for a moment. Okay. Another area to look would be court records. Okay, you can look up divorce, probate, evictions, lawsuits, potential judgments, and you can do that utilizing leadclerk.org. Here. Oh, good. That was fast. Good. My screen is sharing. Oh, you're fine. Okay, so leadclerk.org, you can pull up records, you can search for divorce, probate, evictions, etc. Records. So there's different ways to search on leadclerk.org, and we can give a whole class on that as well. And there, I know that there's some tutorials on the website. But if you'd like to search any of those, divorce, probate, evictions, lawsuits, judgments, etc., let me know, and we can work together on navigating that website to find that information for you. Another thing, driving for dollars, the old school method. As you're out showing property, or living your life, if you see a property that may be in distress, it could have very high grass, it could have broken windows, it could be boarded up, it could look like it needs a new roof, there could be notices posted on the door, the mailbox could be overflowing with mail, and just maybe in a state of disrepair, etc. There's potential that could be a listing. We can go and write down the address, look it up in public record, and make an attempt to contact the owner to see what they want to do, because they're just losing money on their asset the way that it sits. Or as you're driving through, is there evidence of a move out? Is there large garbage items at the curb week after week? Or are they updating the home with updates that aren't indicative of staying? And more indicative of selling. So, if they're updating the pool or other personal items like that, they're probably making the updates to stay. However, if they're maybe doing some painting or adding some yard work or maybe doing flooring, that could potentially mean that they may be fixing up the home to put it on the market. It'd be worth having a conversation with them. Garage sales, moving sales, estate sales. My wife loves to go to these things on Saturday morning, and I always ask that she take some business cards with her of mine, and ask the question as you're out there shopping. Are you having this sale because you're thinking about selling? Are you thinking about downsizing? Just ask the question. Do you have a real estate need at this time? Okay. And then once you've located an opportunity for a potential listing, you need to have a plan of attack. Have a marketing plan in place. Are you making a phone call? And if you're making a phone call, then, what's the script that you're going to be using? Have more to say than just, hi, do you want to sell your house? And I can work with you on those scripts. The other thing too is, if you're doing a mailer, then do you have maybe a mailing campaign that you've designed and built to go after a potential listing? Are you door knocking? If you're door knocking, are you bringing something of value to leave while you're door knocking? Or have you maybe had some door hangers made that you'll be leaving at the residences that you're visiting? So there, in conclusion, there's many different opportunities to go after listings, and there's plenty of opportunities for listings in today's market. As you're going after some of these, I think one of the greatest tools that we have in our toolbox right now that we didn't have in previous markets was, how much equity does somebody have in their home? I know that numbers really can speak volumes, and if you're able to say, if maybe you work with Sunbelt Title to generate a seller's net sheet, based upon my research, we estimate that you might have an existing mortgage of set amount. And, after our real estate, after we're able to close the sale minus all real estate fees and everything involved to get the transaction closed, here's what your takeaway dollar will be. Here's what you will net. That can speak very loudly to somebody. So plenty of opportunity out there, different techniques for the market that we're in today. And we've got some great tools and some great resources that are available free of charge or with our membership to the board. So if you have any questions about anything that we've gone over today or about going after listings at all, I'm here for you. I'm happy to help. reach out anytime. But thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you tuning in. And any questions, shoot me an email, call, text. I'm here for you. Thanks again. Please.